Whoopsie. Been a while since I streamed. Hello, friends. How's it going? It's been a minute. Been a few weeks, I think. Oh, okay. Kiwi's being demanding. Oh, I guess it's around that time of the day. Wow. Okay. Yeah. How has everybody been? A couple of weeks since the last stream, actually. Just 2 weeks. Not too long, but still. Yo, sub reason. Hello, Mr. Hubert the Mad. Also, thanks for the resub. It's happening. Aw, someone asked me to hug Kiwi. Okay, fine. I'll give Kiwi an S word. All right, Kiwi. I can't just bait you without a prize, right? So. Alright, Kiwi, come here. Kiwi! He's like, I'm ready to eat. I'm ready for dinner. It doesn't work. No, that one, I think, right. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to go get him. He was like, I think he thought that it was basically dinner time, so he was like already at the kitchen. So I have to go get him. Oh, good boy. Let's see. Well, let's give him one because he's here. Mr. Kiwis. Here. Oh, don't drop it. Don't drop it. Wanna have another one? Oop. Good boy. Good boy. Also, you're very drooly and shedding a lot of hair. Alright, maybe we can start with this. Actually, maybe let's do the overhead. Alright, hello folks, how's it going? It's been a while. Today we're going to be building a board that's coming to group buy, I believe tonight, later tonight, on ClickClackIO. It's called the Noland N1 from Nooir, designer in China. They did this cool interest check about this board, and I know that a bunch of people already built this board. I think like Clackbait, Alex, Patty, I think Andy, McMerlin, Frank himself, Frank the Tank, and a few other people built. Oh, he wants to go. Okay, bye Kiwi. Bye. He's done. Goodbye. Yeah, so other people already built this board, so you can always check their thoughts on it on their streams and whatnot. And oh my god, I just spilled myself a bunch of tea. But we're doing that today. So we're gonna be building this with these new switches also that ClickClackIO sent. And these are basically the vibe is that they are kind of like HMX switches in the sense that they're long pole and they come factory looped. They're linears. They have one of those I think Night Bison maybe, but they have those like LED diffusing window thingies. I think I have one that I took off earlier. It's like one of these little diffusing thingies. But pretty cute, kinda like Bingsu-esque, I guess. Maybe like a Neapolitan ice cream kind of vibe, I don't know. But pretty cute. They're called Momo Oolong switches. But yeah, I kind of figured that these are kind of similar to HMX in the sense that the factory lube is sufficient, that I don't need to like actually open them up to lube them over. So I decided to leave those stock. Let's see, what have I missed? Let me see if I missed anything in the chat here. Anyway, hello Mr. Frank Inomoshiki, how's it going? J Reggie, Ru MC, Funzy, hello, good evening. Dances, hello Zuabi, hello Frank the Tank, Kodabra, Kupo. Merlin stream with this board was funny a few nights ago. What happened? Tell me what's up. Looking to see what Diego thinks of the build process. I'm kind of excited to try it and see what this is all about. X Sunny D, hello. Let's see. Harry Smallwood, what's up? Boomerangaroo, thanks for the Prime sub. These boards are getting quite organic. I'm not sure if organic is the right word, considering that this whole theme is like some kind of outer space looking device. Looks like a spaceship. Okay, here we got the PCB. So let's take out all the parts for this. Okay, PCB, cool. And this thing comes in this like gigantic hard case, okay? Like, look at the size of this case, okay? Like, this is a TKL. This is the goddamn hard case for this board. Like, if I dropped this anywhere, I'm pretty sure it would break things. And yeah, so it actually comes with it has like a key for it and whatnot, so you can actually lock this thing. Pretty neat, I guess. It's basically a briefcase, a hard briefcase. It says Noir on it, and I think that's about it. Like, the bottom does have like those hard plastic bump on type things if you want to just like lay it around the floor. But yeah, you know, you just open it up. You can open this up. Let's see. Happy Friday, Rob. Hello, how's it going? There's a lot of boxes in the background. You mean these guys over here? Those? Yeah, I got like a bunch of keyboard stuff, a couple of Topper things and whatnot. So yeah, just they're in the box because that's what they. That's the only stuff I found that could fit them for some of them. Let's see. Build was scuffed though because I accidentally took it out of USB mode and couldn't get it to work. Ended up taking the board back apart to test the PCB. Oh, I'll test the PCB first actually. I think that's probably the better idea. Alright, let's open this up though. So this is the board. It looks like it comes in this sort of gunmetal-y gray. And looks like the frame around it is looks like Cerakote or powder coat, some sort of kind of like Starry Night, sort of like not Starry Night, but like, you know, this kind of like, yeah, like it's, I guess like a dark starry sky kind of thing vibe going on here with black. I forget if it was powder coat or Cerakote, but we can check the product page for that. And this has these interesting looking like aluminum, I think, sort of like sound reflecting domes. Kind of neat. These sides have like suspensions, from what it looks like, that basically keep the board like afloat in this big frame, right? And so as you can see, even if I don't do anything, right, this whole thing is on suspension, so it just sinks down when you press on it. So it's like the whole thing, the whole assembly is just moving up and down pretty freely thanks to these suspensions, and you know, they spring back up when you leave it. These sides actually get these glass covers from what I saw in the IC, and I guess that's about it. So let's get all the parts, open it all up, check it out, talk about it if you're curious. If you already watched other people's streams about it, then I understand, probably nothing new. But we'll review all of this today since it's pretty much the day of the GB starting. So let's see, we got our FR4 plate here with the foam. Not sure if I'll use the foam or not. Debating, not sure. Cool. And then it looks like a PCB. Oh, I believe this might be the flex cut PCB. Yeah, flex cut PCB and P foam. I guess I'll just take out the P foam just in case if people might wanna have me use it. Flex cut PCB, but I believe this is not relevant to GB anymore, so I'm gonna ignore it. And let's see, we got extra hardware. We got our antenna and our USB dongle for wireless. We got keys for the actual hard carrying case. Pretty cool. And then we got more accessories. I believe these are the glass covers. I think this is an extra pair of glass covers, so I'll just leave it aside. I think that's it on this case, but it actually packs quite a lot of stuff. So just close it up like this. This is a massive chunker, that's for sure. So I'm gonna put the hard carrying case here aside because it's actually enormous. And actually put the board down on the table. But as you can see, this measures essentially like a full-size board, okay? Because this is a TKL, and you can imagine if I had a numpad here, maybe a full-size is a little longer than this. But it's pretty close. This is maybe like an 1800 type of size as far as the length is concerned. Width-wise, I'm not sure. I can maybe undo this, and I would imagine width-wise is actually kind of similar from what I can tell. Actually, it's even wider than the TKL here by I guess a decent bit. Like maybe like a 1U or so, maybe 0.85 U wider, so pretty big. What's interesting about it is also the sort of like the keyboard part itself is sort of kind of is separate. Okay, so like it's the assembly is just sort of floating in there. Okay, there's a cover that is here for the weight, but so as you can see, there is empty space here, and this thing just floats in there. Super interesting. I have to say, this is unique. This is, I don't know, it's like there's been people who have tried things like maglev in the past, who have tried this sort of like spring-based mounting, and this is definitely a first in terms of how it works. Like, it essentially, this bottom black piece is essentially a frame to keep the board on top of it, and so there is empty space below it. Like, funnily enough, I feel like I could slide in like a document or something in there, but let's just pretend like I have a piece of paper, which I don't for whatever reason. But this, what is this? No. Anyway, yeah. Like, I feel like, is this a PCB? Random PCB? Random PCB could slide in there. So it's like, it's there's quite a lot of space in there, okay? Like, this is a 1.6 millimeter PCB, and it pretty much fits underneath there. Well, actually, it kind of tapers off a little bit in the back over there. So, but what I'm trying to say is that there's like a good 2 millimeters of space between, of a gap between the case and the bottom frame. So quite a bit of space. So yeah, this is a very interesting board, to say the least. So, I mean, let me see if I can show it from the side too. Like, oh yeah, is it focusing here? Not sure if it is actually. There we go. So as you can see, quite a bit of space and quite a bit of like translation, vertical translation of this whole thing. So, I mean, obviously in typing, I think this translation is a little less pronounced, but nonetheless, quite noticeable. I would say like it's actually more noticeable on the spacebar. Like if you're like kind of tapping the spacebar, it's just the bottom part that kind of tips over like this. So that's somewhat interesting. So it's not necessarily always up and down evenly. It's pretty much depending on where you're pressing hard on the case. So super interesting stuff. let's actually, before I go on and test the PCB and stuff, let's actually just go through the parts here. So, this open space underneath board, amount of shock absorption is cool, but I can't see this winning any awards for sound. That's fair. I think it could win an award for novelty in terms of, like, just like new ways of trying of implementing mounting, new, you know, just innovation, but in a exploratory kind of way, and I think that's kind of cool. So anyway, so let's go ahead and try to disassemble this. Looks like we have some Torx screws here to undo. So it's only 8 pounds lightweight. It's great until you go to move it and you remember, oh fuck. That's fair. Yeah. Heavy boards definitely are a little overrated in the sense that some people think that weight correlates to this sense of quality, but it is true that a certain geometry and too much weight is actually quite obnoxious, especially, like, for example, if it's difficult to lift because of the shape, or if it's too smooth or something like that. It's kind of uncomfortable. Sometimes you do want to move stuff on the table, so yeah. I can use the inside of the case at intersection as tactile feedback for the side impaired. I really dig how wacky this board is. Me too. I actually think this is pretty cool. I kind of like that they use the 75% layout as the basis for this board, just because the way they did the clusters here, like, they basically opted for clusters that were, like, you know, symmetric, you know, like horizontally like this, right? Like across some, like, vertical axes here, you know, bottom row aside. But it's a nice way to kind of showcase this design. I think other layouts might have not worked as well. Maybe like a 60% could have worked, but I do like the idea of having the F-row on this particular board. So I do think maybe like one fewer row could have been nice to actually keep this part in a little bit more, and maybe they could have opened up a bigger gap here. I'm not sure, but it's an interesting choice. All right, let's take it apart. It's the type of thing I like to see more of in the hobby. I agree. I am personally in full agreement of that. I think this is the type of stuff that's always good to see people explore in the hobby. And more importantly, I think it's the type of stuff that someone needs to do so that so that you can actually, I don't know. It's so that, you know, like, this is the type of stuff someone has to do so that, you know, you can pave way for new things out there. And so I like it. I like it. Okay, so can I take this out with, how many screws is this? Looks like it's 4 screws here. Yeah, I think safe designs are nice. You know, like, I think safe designs are fine. I personally prefer using safe designs myself, as in, like, for like a personal board that I'm typing on. I like the safer designs just because it looks classic. It's you know, it's like aesthetically pleasing, or whatever you might say about it. But ultimately, it won't drive any kind of novelty in the hobby. So I do agree that someone, at least one person, or, you know, many parties, you know, have to be doing something new. So I personally appreciate projects like this. And this is kind of like the projects that you think, like, maybe like Matrix Lab is a good example, right? Matrix Lab sometimes has done things that are kind of wacky. Like, there was that time they kind of put that 65% with the hydraulics or whatever, with the gas springs or whatever. Those were kind of cool too. So, you know, it's the kind of stuff you want to see out there. Alright, so let's take out, so there's 4 screws here attaching the sort of like the clasp that keeps the frame, I mean the assembly inside of this frame basically connected to the suspension system. So you go ahead and take off 4 screws for each side. So this build process. Okay. Don't want to lose any of those screws in there. All right, and just put those aside. So these are the sort of things that just kind of are wedged in here to basically keep this board in place on there. And then now you lift this up, and it is indeed also magnetic because I just felt it. So I believe these are also magnets. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I can feel the magnetic. I can feel the repulsion from the magnets there. So there's actually suspensions aside, this also is being repelled by these magnets. Pretty neat. I'd be a little scared of putting anything strong, anything close to the strong magnets, but yeah, you can see how there is a magnet there. You can see how there is a magnet here on the left, right? It's basically on all these places where there's these little arrows over here. So there's strong magnets there that also keep the board up. So pretty neat, pretty neat. Didn't the board already run and get published at Z Frontier? Yes, I believe at least in China, this has already been produced. But there will be an international buy coming through ClickClackIO as of today, I believe. So if for anybody not in the Z Frontier community interested in this board, this is a good chance to get it. We use those exact bearings in cash counting machines at my job. That's pretty cool. These guys, yeah, pretty nice. All right, so that's kind of the assembly. So the assembly just kind of sits in there, and the assembly is sort of like independent of the rest. So you can take a look at the back here. What does it say? So it says Noir over there in the middle, and then here it says for Stefan Cheese. Stefan Cheese? Is that a person I don't know? Who's Stefan Cheese? So it did have a China GB, and then now it's for the time for the international GB. There you go. I need to check who this person is. I'm assuming it has to do with something with the inspiration of this, right? Okay, so let's see. Lucas suspension system closely resembles a spider. The animated character Lucas the spider, created by illustrator Joshua Slice. Okay, so it has magnetic suspension and 6 elastic arms, 3 on each side, set at different angles to stabilize. Basically to maintain it stabilized and suspended, and yeah. Well, I don't know what the dedication text is for, but neat. It's not for me, but it's well designed on many fronts. Yes, I agree. I agree. I think they definitely thought about this, so I like that. Okay, so let's open up now the case on the inside. So the frame can pretty much just it's standalone, so this frame can just be set aside, right? So these little bearings and the on each side are pretty much all bolted down to the case, to the frame. So you would have to undo all this if you want to remove it, and probably you can replace it or whatever. But you know, as part of the build process, nothing you need to touch actually. You can just put it aside. Look at my massive telephone. Hello? Alright. So just put it aside though. And put it aside here actually. Alright. And then let's take off the screws here. So there are also these corner screws that attach the top frame to the middle part, or the bottom really, of the case. I'll just call this part the case and the other part the frame, or the suspension frame, or something like that. So that suspension frame is the part that essentially keeps the case afloat with the magnets and the bearings. So remove 4 screws here, and then you can just take this out. So there is our top piece, right? Top piece of the case. We have some magnets here, I assume for the badge. We have a bolted down polycarbonate looking badge on the right side, really. It's for LEDs, I assume, but nifty. Another thing that's noticeable here is that this badge here on the left is actually not mounted flush. It's actually mounted at, at an angle. You can kind of see it if it were to focus. But yeah, it's mounted at an angle here. So it actually sticks out a little. You could actually remove this with your hands if you want it, right? But yeah, it's interesting. It's mounted at a slight angle, so it actually sits a little bit angled like that. That's just the actual way it's designed, because the little badge itself is actually not perfectly, it's not a perfect box shape. It actually has a slope to it, so it's intended to be slightly inclined like that. Pretty neat. Alright, so that's the top case. Now we go on to the bottom case. The bottom case has this area with this panel of sound domes. Seems to be like made of aluminum, I think. It seems like a light metal sheet. And it looks like the metal sheet is covered by some sort of like plastic cover here. So it's basically a sheet that's been bolted down here to the case. And I'm assuming that because this does have wireless capability, there are some batteries also in the back there and a daughter board over here. So in fact, if I undo these screws here, I probably should be able to find the batteries as well. So let's undo those just for, out of pure curiosity. Let's just check it out. So take out corners and sides as well. I don't think that's sufficient. Okay, so I guess I do need to take everything off. Just to sort of show what's underneath. They're all the same screw size, that's good. So far I've been only using a T6 Torx screwdriver. So that's something that's, oh, this screw is a little tougher to do. There we go. Alright, so there is a bunch of screws here, maybe like 10 screws or so. 10 screws here that keep this dome sheet. Oh, looks like the dome sheet. So it's just a cover here. There's a plastic cover. And that's what the dome sheet actually looks like underneath it. It's suspended on a piece of foam, actually. So these are lodged into a piece of foam. Independent domes are lodged onto a piece of foam based on the layout. And then a cover plastic sheet here to basically keep them in place on top of the foam piece, right? So you can actually remove this carefully. It's very likely that you could probably dislodge these domes because they're just kind of wedged into the foam. So it's a layer of foam here. kind of reminds me of removing like a Topre dome board, right? So you have a piece of foam here with the sound domes. So just kind of put it aside like that. And then underneath here, you have our magnets here, I assume. These are the magnets that are going to be doing the maglev kind of suspension. And these are the ones that are, you know, acting against with repulsion to the, repulsion to the frame that holds this entire case together. And here we have our large battery. It says 3.7 volts and 14.8 watt hour. It says 400 milliamp hour. No, wait, 4,000 milliamp hour capacity. Is connected here with a cable, and I assume this is just to connect the power over to the main PCB unit. So that's pretty much the gist of this case. Okay, so you have a bottom frame here, some accent weights. We got slabs here with magnets, right? And then you got this foam piece with sound domes that are kind of lodged onto the piece of foam here. So like a dome sheet. And then this is just laying on top of this here as such, on top of our daughter board ribbon cable here. And then on top of that, we got our plastic cover for the dome sheet. Goes on top like that. And then you have the assembly. So that's pretty much the gist of the case. So let's go ahead and just bolt this back down just so that it doesn't come off. And then I think I'm gonna go ahead and test the PCB and do the rest of the assembly, which should be fairly quick. Okay, so of course I imagine you can actually take off this dome sheet as well, no problem, if you wanted to. It would still work fine. But it exists really to fill in the space, and these this sound dome sheet, I guess, helps in diffusing the sound in the case. I do wonder what it would be like without it, but perhaps for now we'll just leave it as intended, and then maybe at some other time we can experiment with it. Alright, so let me go ahead and just double check PCB functionality. So let's see, we got an FR4 plate, foam, and our PCB. So PCB here has a wireless antenna over here, and then we got main daughter board ribbon cable connector. So undo that and test it out. Alright, so there is our PCB lit up right away because it's in on. Okay, so we can actually just go ahead and test it. I think it's, oh wait, I need to plug this in, I assume, and I assume also it's currently maybe on wireless mode. I don't know, I'm not sure. Oh, there, I heard the thing pop up, and let's see if it just detects keystrokes. Oh, there it is. It's working. Looks like that's the volume control here. Yeah. Alright, cool. Looks like things are working here though. That's good. I don't know what this one will do. Oh, it's delete. Okay, cool. I did forget to mention about layout. So for layout options, let's see what we got. Let me turn this off for a second. There's a little dip switch here that you can toggle off to turn off the PCB entirely. But for layout options, at least for this hot swap PCB, it looks like it's pretty much fixed layout entirely. You have a 6.25U bottom row with 1.25U left-hand mods. And then on the right-hand side, these look to be 1.5U modifiers, so kind of 6.25U standard ANSI layout. So you have your 1.75 shift, you have your 225 ANSI enter, your 2U backspace, and your 225 ANSI left shift. So pretty standard, fully fixed hot swap layout here, at least for this particular PCB that I have here. And this looks like standard caps lock, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it looks like regular caps lock. All right, cool. So PCB is working. That's good. So let's go ahead and just undo that and take the PCB and the plate and just build it up. Okay, so let's go back to this view. I am gonna go ahead and just put the case aside. So we don't require any soldering today. That's cool. Okay. Looks like extra hardware. Yeah, extra bump-ons, extra foam pieces, screws. I think this is just extra hardware. And looks like we got the dongle and the antenna, which we can plug it in a bit as well. And the glass covers. Alright, so foam or no foam is the question. What do you guys think? In the meantime, I will prep our stabs. Alright, so for stabs, I need 1, 2, 3, 4. Bunch of spare stabs from before. Can use those. Looks like a 625U wire. Yep. Funky, hello. How's it going? Okay, so wire. Oh, I have an extra one, I think. And then I'm gonna need 1, 2, and 1 for the spacebar. 3. And then looks like I got a few extra wires here. Put those aside for now. Nice, nice, but way too hot. Where are you located, Funky, again? It's been... Today actually cooled off. Last week was really warm, at least here in New York. But it cooled off a little bit today. Definitely been a pretty hot start to the summer, though. Admittedly. Also, Sean, hello. How goes it? Let's break in these TX AP stabs a little bit. Germany, also very humid. Oh, okay. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I think Northern Hemisphere right now, big time suffering in the summer. I think a friend of mine also just recently went back to his home in India, and he was like, yeah, it's hitting like 50 Celsius today or something like that. Insane. Dehumidifier working 24/7. Oh yeah, we actually recently got a dehumidifier here to also save on like any kind of air conditioning prices, because like electricity is expensive in the summer. Like they mark up the electricity supply here, and then like I feel like if you have fans, like decent ventilation and a dehumidifier, it ends up working okay. But yeah, it's still pretty warm. Won't be much cooler, but at least it's gonna be less humid with a dehumidifier indoors. So we try to run that instead of an AC if we can. But if it gets too hot, then we do resort to using an AC. All right, break in these little guys here. Just a little tight clips here. Keep the wire bound a little. Kiwi is, as you can hear, begging for dinner, if you can hear that. He's this is how he does it every day. Every day he's when it's time, it's pretty insistent begging. It's pretty much time. Alright, so let's go ahead and break this one too. Break this one in. Hello, I heard we are building a Noland N1 on stream today. Yes, hi. What's good? How's it going? I already went through the whole structure of the board earlier, but I guess I'll basically be reviewing that as we put the assembly in. Is the typing feeling between soldered PCB and hot swap PC much different? No, I don't think it's too different. I mean, some people argue it is. It kind of depends. Like, I feel like if, for example, like if your hot swap sockets are loose for whatever reason, maybe it's not new, or maybe you have a configuration that lends the PCB to move a little more, that could be a problem. Like, first of all, you shouldn't be having that issue. Like, the PCB should not be moving, right? Like, when you like press down, like, it shouldn't dislodge. Like, the switch shouldn't dislodge from the socket, right? So assuming that's the same, like that's nice and tight and like it like sockets work as intended, then no, I don't think there's a difference. Assuming that there's no other differences like flex cuts or like, you know, little random things like that on the PCB. I personally would say it doesn't really matter. One thing to consider for hot swap or soldered is also like layout options. Like sometimes you use hot swap and you are not gonna get the layout option that you want. So if you don't get the layout option that you want, then solder is probably the only other choice that you get to use, assuming that it supports that layout. I prefer using soldered, but I have bought hot swap because it's convenient and easy to build with. But I prefer solder just because I have the equipment, and for me it's not a big problem to desolder. I think if this were like at the beginning of the hobby, like when I first joined, and like I was not as good with desoldering, like especially when I was still using a hand pump, I would have probably gone with hot swap if it had been available to the same extent it is today. So yeah, you can choose whichever you want, honestly, as long as you get the layout that you want. Alright. And get our 205 here. So anyway, I don't know what's new with y'all, but I've just been busy with work. Do you guys have any cool plans for this weekend or the coming week? I know it's July 4th for the people who are in the States, so it's Independence Day. So a lot of people will take some time off to see family, maybe organize a barbecue, that kind of stuff. It's like in the middle of the week though, so... Oh wait, is it? Actually, no. Yeah, it's Thursday, so I guess long weekend. What about your plans for the holiday? I actually, I'm really busy with work these days, so I'll probably just be off for the 4th, but I think for most of the weekend though, I'll probably be doing other things work related and whatnot. So I don't really get too much time off this time around. But yeah, I think if it were any other year, sometimes it's just going out to like have barbecue with friends, you know, or like organize like a small thing with friends, eat food, you know, grill meat, that kind of stuff. But or like maybe like fireworks if it's relevant. But this year I think probably won't be doing too much of that. I do have like some friends organizing something, so I might pop in, say hi, hang out for a little. But yeah, I think this year probably a bit more subdued of a celebration per se for the holiday. Kiwi, take me out. Kiwi actually doesn't really... Well, Kiwi likes taking walks in the hallway here right outside, but he doesn't really like people, and so he wouldn't go out. Unless he had like his own yard. I think if we had like an own backyard, he would like going out, but I think other than that, he's pretty shy. He's been better with people actually. He's been pretty like he's been improving a lot with people, but even then I don't think he's that confident just yet to go out like where there's a lot of people. Or like really more than like us, like, you know, like basically the people he's familiar with. Pretty shy, not that friendly to be taken places. And I can only imagine things like July 4th, like with the fireworks and stuff, it's kind of pretty bad for pets. So my cats run into our building's hallway when I come home. Oh, that's so cute. I wish Kiwi did more of that. But he only like comes to the door to say hi when we like when we're walking to the apartment. Like he'll say hi. But I think outside of that, he wouldn't really run into the hallway without us, especially. He'll like sometimes, like he'll like ask to go out sometimes. So like especially at night, right before we're like about to go to bed or something like that, he's like, "Oh, I wanna have a little walk on the hallway." So he'll sometimes ask for it. Like he'll like meow at the door. He can't really open the door, so like he'll like indicate to us that he wants to go to the hallway to hang out. But generally though, he's like for example, he hates like door knocks, like doorbells, that kind of stuff, like noise extraneous like that. He gets very sussed out, and so he'll like run away or hide if he hears a door knock or a doorbell. Pretty skittish in that regard. Not gonna lie, if Kiwi lives on the street, he seems like the one who will get bullied. Yeah. I did hear that one time he actually did get like he accidentally like ran like out of the house. Like so before he was here, he was in the house, and he basically was like hiding somewhere nearby, but like, you know, I think he would be terrified of everything, and I don't really think he would be doing very well. Apparently he came back, right? But he was like really shaggy and like just like not in good shape, you know, looked really sad after he got like lost. So yeah, poor boy. I don't think he can handle the outside like that. His heart is too big to be on the streets. Yeah. He really likes home. He's a homebody. He likes sleeping and napping and looking at judging people from the indoors. But never not courageous enough to be out there. He's kind of territorial though, like in the sense that like if there's other pets like in our hallway, like he'll be like spooked out, like sussed out a little. And then like we've had a neighbor who once brought their dog, and like he's actually decently friendly with other pets, but he'll like definitely be like watching out. He'll be like, what are you doing, huh, I'm gonna walk right next to you to see what you're doing, huh? And then one time I think he like hissed at a neighbor's dog, because the neighbor's dog ended up drinking from his water bowl. So he was like, "What the fuck?" So he like hissed at the dog. I was like, "Wow, I didn't even know Kiwi." So okay, first of all, like Kiwi never hisses. Okay, like basically almost never. But this was the one time he did, and I was like, "Yeah, that dog deserved it, because who the hell drinks your water? That's just mean." So anyway, yeah, he is a little territorial in that regard, but I wouldn't say he is obsessively so, or like an aggressive type. He definitely isn't. He tries to make peace. Like sometimes he hangs out with another cat in the building, and he's pretty friendly. He's really friendly. He kind of like puts himself down to like not cause trouble. He's very like polite, I feel. Very friendly in that regard. So I think when he goes to other people's, like other cats or other pets' territory, he's actually really respectful. That's how I think we describe it. He's very polite about other people's other animals' territory. But when it comes to his own, he's definitely like a little bit of a vigilante, which is pretty cute. Do you adopt him? Yeah, he's adopted. He was adopted since he was a kitten. I didn't adopt him. My partner did. Kiwi's now 6 years old. Yeah, no, he doesn't hiss at people, that's for sure. He gets skittish, he gets scared. I don't think he doesn't really like meow and hiss at people, that's for sure. Speaking of Alex, oh no, this is our cat Kiwi. We're talking about our pet cat Kiwi here at home. Oopsie, I just dropped a stab. There we go. Get this first. Yeah. Chad, is this a hot swap or a solder PCB? This is a hot swap PCB. Where did it go? Where's my stab goes now? Oh, somewhere. Slide off my chair. I fell off here. Okay. If you rip off a socket, does that turn into solder PCB? I guess. If I have to solder, I guess. All right, let's try a no foam build. Maybe it seems fine. I think we can try it out. If we dislike it, we can try foam. I don't really mind either way. Alright, let's go ahead and put switches. I might need a play fork for this, just because of the shape of the plates. Gotta make sure our little pins are aligned. Okay, so it might be a smart idea to actually install this antenna soon. Gonna go ahead and do that. Looks like this goes through here, and this probably gets installed on the plate like that. Okay, and then let's see, and okay, yeah, I think that can just go here. What's the keyword you're looking for the most, by the way? I haven't caught up with recent, like, upcoming releases for a bunch of things lately, just because I've been so busy. But I know that Mr. Dodgy Juan is releasing a small batch of boards for group buy of his TKL, and he has some other projects coming up too. I recently was at the Novel Keys stream, like I was just like watching them, and Mike was mentioning about a new line for his shop, like the classic TKL and a few other projects. That seemed pretty cool. The classic TKL looked pretty nice, kind of like Real Force inspired. It looked nice. It looked pretty neat in my opinion. Yeah, so I don't know if this is supposed to just go on top here. Alright, I think that's fine. I don't know what upcoming releases there are. I mean, I know the Mode just recently had their new Sonnet release, which look pretty good. But they're already selling that one. I know the Neo Ergo just passed. I was actually kind of excited for that, and I didn't end up ordering one for myself, but it was pretty tempting at the price tag that they have. I know Mr. Frankie Nomushiki, he is going to be doing a board at some point soon, called the ASCII F, I think. But basically, it's kind of like it was kind of like a, I don't know. It's like, how do I explain? It's like a 65 with a numpad, sort of. I mean, pretty cool layout. He built it on stream a few days ago, like a prototype. I believe he is also releasing a board soon. So there's people releasing boards still, and so looks pretty nice. If you're looking for something with a numpad, I mean, the Petrichor I think is currently running, right? I think the Petrichor is a nice buy right now too. Made a 40% with a numpad. That's the width of a 65. That's cool. Typing on it right now. Oh, nice. I guess this is like your own layout, right? So it's pretty much perfectly convenient for you. Only a few people showed interest in the layout. I mean, it's definitely niche to have something like that, right? So, because I feel like 40s users already have their ways somewhat set, although they're flexible to explore new things, but at the same time, they have like specific needs, which is why they probably gravitated towards the layout in the first place. And then people with a numpad are sort of like also a niche, in the sense that there's, at least in the enthusiast side, a lot of people abandon the numpad because they don't use it as much anymore, and so the people who do are in itself a niche too. So it's an interesting conundrum. I definitely can see why it wouldn't be nearly as hugely popular. Diego, any opinions on Unreal keyboards or OEM? For OEM domes and springs, should I go with KLC or desk keys? I mean, you know who Unreal Keyboards is, right? Mason. Like, you can totally get stuff from them, but I feel like you can also source OEM domes and stuff elsewhere, like on Mech Market, for not too expensive, for maybe even cheaper actually. I think that's another thing to consider. But that's it. Desk keys is fine. I haven't tried the KLC EC stuff. Maybe other people in my server might have already, but yeah, I'm actually not too sure about the KLC EC stuff, just because I haven't tried it myself. You know? But OEM versus aftermarket is why I'm like, I personally prefer OEM 45 gram, you know, but I know people who do like their, like, what is that, Deskies Carrot or whatever. I haven't tried them, so I can't tell you. I prefer OEM though. I mean, but that's just because I'm used to it, you know? These plate cutouts kind of tight. More importantly, it's because of these flex cuts. They're tight. All right, let me test some of these stabs though before we keep going. Try stabs first. With all the new offerings with crazy value, which older keyboard still holds up for you? I mean, the thing is, I have a strong preference for a lot of the older, like, top mount kind of stuff. So for me, like, a lot of the older stuff kind of has preserved its, like, usefulness to me. There's also, like, some older boards that are pretty cheap in the market that I think are pretty cool. Like, Profit is one such a board. I think it's pretty nice. I like boards like the Thermal that have, like, pretty unique look, and at the same time, they're not necessarily the most popular board, but it's pretty unique, so I actually like it a lot. That said, like, you know, this Neo 80 is a very good example of an offering that's simple and also really cheap, and it's new, right? Like, it's pretty much like you can get Neo 80s for really cheap, and it's really good. Like, right nowadays, if people ask me, like, hey, I want a TKL for really cheap that's still like a custom mechanical keyboard and has all the offerings, right? Neo 80 is hard to not recommend. It's really hard to not recommend. And yeah, like, aftermarket stuff is also pretty neat in the sense that now it's like a lot of stuff has normalized quite a lot. Like, you have boards for like so cheap now. Like pretty much retail or less, or much less than retail, and so yeah, as a buyer, like, it's a great market to be in. Have you tried out the Cycle 8? I have not yet, but I am going to be trying the Cycle 8. Thought I had it around here, but I will be trying the Cycle 8. I did receive the box. I haven't opened it or anything yet, so I don't know what I have, but I will be trying the Cycle 8 and building it soon. These are clacky. Alright, stabs sound pretty good to me, as far as rattle and whatnot is concerned. I regret my devastating TKL, but still enjoy my Mr. Suit. Yeah. Like, for example, like, there's also, like, those ME releases, like the 910 and the Jane, right? Like, those are also going for pretty much retail now, which is really cool. And those are, like, designs that are, like, were considered, like, classic for some time, like, not just for the name, but, like, the design itself, like, looks pretty nice, right? And, like, that's pretty attainable now, although, at the same time, like, retail for those was also not cheap comparing to the current offerings. So, like, when you're thinking about, like, these $500 boards, like, now it's kind of hard to consider because you have all these boards that are being offered at like 300 or 350 at most, or whatever it is, right? And it's hard to compete for some people. Whoa! Is that Peaches? Is ODM here? Holy Peaches! Hello, we missed you. How are you? Are you doing well? How's life? Oh my god. This is crazy. What have you been up to aside from, you know, probably being busy with life. What's new? Did you have you reached enlightenment? What did your pilgrimage through life result in? How are things going? Life is great with a new job. Oh, that's good. Well, I will hopefully be soon in your boat. I need to. I will also be transitioning careers soon. And we'll be out looking for jobs. So let's hope that I can say exactly the same thing and say life is great with a new job, and still build keywords and do stuff like that. You know, like do hobby things, do fun stuff, while I still get to say things like that. So hopefully that'll be the case soon. Would you move out of New York City? No, I'm at least slated to be here. At least for the next year, I'm definitely gonna be here. Do I have plans to move out? Not currently, no. I mean, I feel like the only things that would cause me to move out of New York City, at least at the time, is if both my partner and myself have career-related reasons and whatnot to move out, which we currently don't. Neither of us do currently have that incentive, and so at the time, I would say no. I would probably not move out. I will be looking for jobs here, and at least the job market here is. It depends what industry you're in, but at least it's, you know, it's a big city, so it's, I guess in a way you could say it's a bit more ripe with opportunities just by sheer density. But I'm not sure how it will go until I do it. So I can't tell you right now that I'm confident that everything's gonna be fine or that it's awful. I don't know that. I don't know that yet. You changing career paths or just job? I'm changing career paths in the sense that I mean, for those who don't know, I'm a PhD candidate, so I'm about to finish my degree. I am currently working on defending soon, and so I will be hopefully be done with that in the next month or so. And you know, that means I will be done with school forever. I am not planning to go into academics. That's an official statement. I am not staying in academia. I did academia for a long time. I am happy with what I've done, but it's not the place for me to stay, I think. At least in the foreseeable future, I don't think so. And so I will be looking for a career in industry. And for me, industry would entail, it could be anything. I think I'm keeping my eyes open. I'm keeping my mind open to things. I probably will be looking for engineering related positions. R&D is a whole possibility as well, so it could be like lab related or R&D in general. It could be pharma, it could be I don't know, it could be anything, right? It could be tech, could be finance, who knows. I don't think I have the experience for that, for example, though, but I'm open, but I'm in the STEM like area, right? Like I'm in STEM in general, so I'm pretty open to positions in STEM that kind of can stem out, no pun intended, from like my current degree and career path. So I think those are the options I get right now, but I'm keeping my mind open to different things. Do not congratulate me yet. Do not congratulate me. Do not congratulate me. Don't you dare congratulate me just yet. I can't feel the joys of being congratulated until I'm actually done. You never know, man. You never know. You never know. I say I'm so close. I feel so close and yet so far, because it's basically I'm basically away from this very, very daunting 2 hours of where I basically get grilled about my life here, and then what I've done in that period of time, and then I'm supposed to sound smart about it. So it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to summarize all this stuff in within a few hours of, you know, whatever you're showcasing. And so yeah, Do not congratulate me until I say it's fine to congratulate me. Believe in me that believes in you. Thank you, guys. But I think I'll be fine. I think I've done most of the work now. But unfortunately, I have the benefit of having a very good boss, a very good mentor and advisor. And so I'm very happy that I'm very lucky, to be honest, to not be trapped in the terrors of what graduate school can be for a lot of people out there and has been for a lot of people out there. Like, I've heard many nightmarish and horror stories out there about being a grad student. I know people who really suffered through it firsthand. And yeah, I'm very lucky to have someone who is very supportive and all of the, all of the above, But and even now, like in the process of kind of finishing up, I'm also like very lucky to have someone who's very supportive. At the same time, though, I do think the first thing that got me nervous, at least right now, actually, is actually kind of like coming up after that. Is like the last time I looked for a job properly, before I started this whole journey, was what year is it now? 2024, right? Was like the last time I was looking for a job was like 9 years ago, almost a decade now. It was almost a decade ago that I had a job. Because I took some time off, and or like 8 years, I think, basically, because I did work for a bit. So I took some time off after I finished school. I mean, well, I started working and then took some time off and then came back to school. And so it's been like a decade since I've been in this whole like, since I've been in that like gotta look for a job and interview mindset. It's so different now. I can't believe it when I hear people tell me like I'm in like round 5 interviews, and like this whole AI thing is also changing entire industries, right? And I read these job descriptions and I'm like, I'm so foreign to this stuff. And yet yet you have to figure out a way to market yourself. That shit's crazy. That shit's insane. But I believe in myself. But at the same time, it's just like, it's really interesting coming back to that. Yeah, there's a lot of resources out there for sure. I do have, fortunately, I also have friends in the industry who can also like, I can also always run to and be like, help. Can you please look at my resume? And do I even need to write this cover letter now? Do I ask ChatGPT to write cover letters for me? No, I mean, just kidding. But, fortunately, I'm not a terrible writer as far as that's concerned. I'm not sure how well I would interview. I think I interviewed decently, actually. If it's technical, though, it's a different story. But, yeah, we'll see. I don't know what the environment out there is like yet. Like the climate. I'm not too familiar with it just yet. I did like some preliminary looking, but yeah, kind of excited. I have to say I'm both nervous and very excited for all that. I'm excited to have a career that fortunately will pay what I think I'm worth. So while I still become yet another big cog to the machine that is society, at least I can be miserable while getting paid enough, so to speak. Anyway, that's kind of where I am at now. So that's my story right now. So I don't want to be like too optimistic and too like, singing victories and whatnot until I'm actually done and I'm actually there. So, but I'm excited. Pays what I'm worth, but you're priceless. Who's gonna pay for Kiwi's S words? Someone's gotta bring the food to the table. You could just start yelling balls during your defense and nothing else. You've activated my trap card. Anyway. Anyway, I'm just telling a friend to get a spider as his first T kill. It's a steel. Oh, that's a good deal. The spider, pretty good deal. A very classic looking board with very classic features. Well, definitely inspired. But very nice looking board. That's a nice recommendation for sure. Let's see. Just catching up here. Peaches says move from a 9-to-5 job to a rostered work. Working for emergency first responders. Oh wow, that's intense work, Peaches. I've been in emergency first responder type of things, and it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. But at the same time, there's good stuff to be derived out of, to be taken out of it. So I think that's cool. Hard to catch any stream, that makes sense. I'm sure even Epsi is like, wow, you're never around anymore. Zosco, hello, I just joined the stream. What are the dots on the case? The dots on the case, I'll show you in just a sec. I'll go over the whole board thing here. But it's basically like a... Is it Cerakote or powder coat or whatever? Let's see, coat. If I look for coat, it should show up. Electrophoretic coating with a sprayed finish. I'll showcase it shortly though. It's basically a black case with this matte black finish, right? It's this frame with this matte black finish, and then it has this kind of like white specks sprayed onto them, but they've been like kind of smoothened out, so it's like part of the case, part of the same surface. It looks pretty nice, kind of like a little starry sky sort of theme going for it. And then the regular case here is just anodized aluminum, I think. All right, I think that's it for this. All right. My friend is wrapping up her PhD and she's logged in and off for no problem. Hell yeah. You go, girl. Let's go. That's awesome. I mean, I'm always happy to hear when other people in the similar position are doing well, because this shit's a solidarity thing, you know? You know how much you fucking suffered through to get through that. And so when you hear other people are like doing better, doing well, you're proud of them. At least I feel that way. I don't know about you, but I feel that way. I like to cheer for others because it's a good way to, you know, feel connected and all that. Alright, so assembly here is done. I've done the antenna installation here. And I think all I need to do is just install our daughterboard stuff. So let's go ahead and check that out. Let's see. So here's the daughterboard cable. This is a ribbon cable that connects to a PCB over here. That's over here. So over here you have this antenna connector that goes through a little hole on the PCB, and I just pasted it, like it has an adhesive, I just pasted it onto a plate because it's easier that way. And then, you know, that's the main daughterboard that connects to the USB and the power supply, which is, the power supply is going to be a battery for wireless mode if you need to use that. I personally just would use wired, but if you're into wireless, then, you know, there is a battery underneath this. Oh, actually, well, Zosco, since you just came here, I'll just kind of explain, okay? So this is a case, it's a two-part case, it's a two-part keyboard. So this is just a regular PCB plate assembly. And this is the bottom case of the keyboard itself, right? This is the top case, just the cover, right, for the layout. And the mounting system is, what, is this like a top mount? No, I mean, this thing just kind of sits on the, yeah, it just sits here. So so let me show. So like basically this bottom case has like this. It's bolted down, but basically it's a foam sheet with these aluminum sort of sound domes that are kind of embedded into the piece of foam, and then there's this just plastic cover just to keep the domes in the same exact location. Underneath this sheet is the battery here in the middle. There's a daughter board here that connects to the battery and the USB port, which is just connected right here, right? That's a USB port. And then there's a ribbon cable coming out of it that comes out on the side over here. Then, you know, you basically plug in your daughter board connector here, right? So just ribbon cable, just carefully plug that in. And tighten, I think. Oh, shoot. Need to carefully do that. Just can't really see because it's such a tight spot. But just ribbon cable stuff. Alright, there. So ribbon cable's plugged in, right? And then this assembly just kind of goes in there, right? And then, yeah, it looks like this is just, alright, so this assembly is just covered like that, right? So sort of like sandwiched in like that, right? And then, now, so many new things in the hobby. The latest one I built is a derivative. That's not too long ago, I think. That's not too bad, peaches. And so you basically close up the case here. So there's these 4 little screws, Torx T6 screws here that close up our internal assembly here, right? So you close up your internal assembly. There, it's nice and sandwiched through, right? So we're gonna do that. And so close each corner here, just gently tighten the screws. Okay, now. Oh, I forgot to explain. At the bottom of this case, so this case on the interior side of this has these big bar magnets over here, right? These big bar magnets are going to have it basically suspend itself by magnetic levitation effectively. And the way that works is, okay, so you have your internal assembly here, and then I'm gonna get the big frame. So the big frame over here. So this is this big kind of like U-shaped sort of frame, right? Right? So it has this like U-shaped sort of frame, or however you want to see it, U-shape or the other way around. And this frame basically sits, you know, it sits on the desk like this. And this internal assembly, right, just goes, basically just sits on top. So there are these magnets here too. There's 2 pairs of magnets here. And these guys are going to make this whole thing kind of float. They're very strong magnets. So they just kind of, you kind of insert the assembly onto the bigger frame here. And they're being suspended by the magnets. And then these bearings here, they're just bearings here to allow this to stabilize this assembly on this position, because, you know, just because this is levitating doesn't mean that it can't like come off, right? So you basically want to bolt it down, and these bearings are there to sort of stabilize it on several positions, and so it kind of just sits there. And so we have these little clasps that just sort of go in here to hold the assembly down. So we're gonna go ahead. I think the easier way to put these on is to actually put the screws in first, so that I don't have to be like trying to in a difficult way, like try to be aiming the screws into the small screw holes there. So just gonna go ahead and, oh, they're magnetic, but still. This is so ridiculously over the top. Yeah, for sure. This is definitely super over engineered kind of stuff, and it's pretty cool. I mean, honestly, like, I mean, Gawk was saying this earlier. This is the kind of cool project that the hobby like grows from. Like, you know, it's okay. Fuck these screws. I'm just gonna do them magnetically. So I'm just gonna grab this thing and just place it in where it belongs, so it just kind of sits there, and there are screw holes there to hold to put the screws onto. So you kind of just grab a screw here, slot it into the T6 screwdriver, and carefully lower the screw if I can, assuming I can. Come on. Oh, come on. Stop. Okay, there we go. Keeps dislodging from the... There we go. Pain. Okay, so there's 4 screws on each side. So you just gently press them on and screw it down. So basically this just holds one side in place and then the other, right? So you just do that for both sides. I should have tested the PCB before putting this all together, but I got caught up in the explanation that I didn't do that. Let's see over here. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting project, I think. I mean, technically not just a project, but... Oh, did I lose that screw? Where is it? Where'd it go? Oh, crap. I totally just heard that screw attached to the magnet underneath. Okay, hold up. I was right. I should have just put the screws on to the thingy first, and then just lower the thingy, and then just screw it on top. But I'm a dummy, and I didn't do that. So I'm gonna do that now. Hi, Screw. How are you? All right. Patricia called the bottom piece a landing dock. Okay, so we have our landing dock for the big old battle cruiser here. And so that's kind of how it works. You know, this is a battle cruiser like those on StarCraft, you know, battle cruiser operational. Those battle cruisers. The ones from the Terrans. I mean, kind of does remind me of one. Are you a new chatter? Wait, Captain Mike? Is this a new account? What happened to your other one? Or is this a different Mike? Will this Yamato cannon your computer? That would be kind of cool. If I could deploy some... Man, these screws are tiny. Just like, feel like if you have fat fingers here, like it's big struggle bus. Okay, there we go. All right, I got it this time. No, don't you dare. Okay. Haven't stopped by in a while. Hello, NA Jack. How's it going? I mean, you haven't stopped by in a while, but then again, I didn't stream for the past 2 weeks, and I've also just been kind of busy lately, so it's just, don't blame you there. Even if it's been months, it's fine. Welcome back. How's it going? Come on, little screw. ODM banned this bot. He clearly wants alts for the Kiwi Polaroids. Oh wow, I haven't given out a Kiwi Polaroid in a minute. Oh, wait, does Peaches know Kiwi? Holy shit, Peaches, you haven't been here in ages. Have you even caught up with my life at all? Do you even know who I am? Your kitten, yeah. We so it's my partner's cat technically. Like I live so I mean obviously I'm in a different place and I moved in with my partner and she has a cat and the cat's name is Kiwi and he's adorable and he's an orange and he's the best. He's a polite good boy. But yes, that's Kiwi. It's kind of like the quick story here. All right, so let me see. Let's actually test this out now, though, before I keep going. Before I have to like actually undo everything. I did not hear. You're kidding me. You're kidding me, right? I totally didn't mess this up, right? Skill issue? Did I actually not plug in that daughter board properly? SMH. I can't. GG. That's real bounce right there. Well, I need to bounce back from this trauma. I totally thought it was fine, but I think I messed up. I just need to go back to the inner assembly again. How annoying. That's my fault. That makes him an honorable New Zealander because we are known as Kiwi Colloquial. I know that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we joke that he might be from another place, but he's I believe he's like a Midwesterner essentially though, because he was technically adopted in like was it Minnesota? I think it was Minnesota. Might be wrong, but I think it was Minnesota. Okay, so landing dock had to be dislodged here because I screwed up. So let's go ahead and undo this just to check that daughter board cable again. You know, this is kind of why I don't like ribbon cables. It's just because of you're not always 100% sure when they're like actually in, and it's just compared to JST is just meh. Meh. Be honest, Peaches. Do you miss us at all? Do you miss keyboard people at all? They're a mess. Do you miss it at all? You have to be honest. Isn't life better without it? Okay. I miss the friends I met through keyboards. Okay, that's fair. Okay, that turned on now. Alright, cool. So it's all good now, I think. So let's put everything back together. Hey, Wantagon, how's it going? Happy Friday, indeed. Alright. Sometimes I open the Discord, I see the chat, and I quietly click out of it. That's relatable. Alright, I'm just gonna double check that everything's good here. Okay, cool. Everything is seemingly working. I think that's the FN key. That's fine. I'm not a fan of the hyperbolic echo chamber. Ooh, very cool looking. I really like this LED here. It's really does make it look nice. I like LED, tasteful use of LEDs. Kids these days, I feel old. Wait, you feel old hearing a Skibidi Toilet, Giat, Rizzler? What else is there? What are these words you are saying? Yeah, exactly. What are these words I am saying? You know, Mason, you send me like reels, right? Like so Mason occasionally sends me reels on IG or whatever, and I'm like, man, these do not compare to the shit Zoomers listen to these days. It's insane. It's a whole new level. What the Sigma? Oh my god. Yeah. Very good. Impressive. There you go. Okay. Oh man, my fat fingers are struggling to put this screw on here. There you go. Honestly, it took a long time to wean off from Twitch language. I'm not too surprised. Funny enough, it catches on in other places. Like, I've noticed some friends or like random people like this sort of like say things that are obviously from like Twitch and like similar kinds of places, and I'm like, wow. But then I'm like, wow, I guess that's the new normal. I have a reel for this, sending it to you. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so that's good. Actually, let's test this dongle. Probably should work. I think I have a USB port here free for this. Does this work? Oh, but I need to switch it to USB mode or whatever. What was the control for that? Wireless mode or whatever. USB wired. USB wire. Switch the keyboard to 2.4G mode. Okay. 2.4G is FN plus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, fancy. Is that Oh, that does work. Oh, okay, cool. Wireless mode also works. Oh, that's neat. And then this to switch it back to USB mode, I think. And I can also turn off keyboard backlight. Ooh. Oh, nice. You get backlight too, thanks to these switches too. Anyway, I can plug this in too. And that should be working as well. Yeah, okay, that works too. All right, cool. Before I forget about these little glass pieces, there are also these glass covers for the sides. KW blockers. When you work for emergency service, you can't say that shit. I know. The emergency services use very specific lingo, so yeah, I can imagine. Okay, so oopsie, drop the small bolt over here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so there are these little glass windows that just kind of go on top here. Oh, who's this? Oh, Apiary Raid. Hello. Hello, friends. How's it going? Hi, bestie. How goes it? How's life? I'm so jealous you get to build this board. Yeah, this is like crazy. It's like it has like all of those like new features, like, you know, all the wireless, all that stuff, and then it has this cool mounting. If you want to try it out, I can always send it out to you if you want to check it out. The LED diffusers look great. Yeah. Alright, so it has these glass covers that just go on the sides. That's just to cover this area with the bearings. Nice and clean. Oh, I should have maybe blown out of the dust in there, but oh well. I can maybe do it some other time. Yep, I got some dust caught up in there. Oh well. Ooh, don't tempt me? I mean, hey, if you want to, if you have time, rather, feel free. Just let me know. Anyway, what are you up to today, Marcia? How was stream? This looks cool AF. You'll look cool AF. I'm down if you are. Yeah, no problem. I mean, this board goes on GB like today, so, and I think like, I mean, I think it's fine. I believe they already had a Chinese GB too, so this is like the international GB for ClickClack. It's pretty cool. All right, so let's see. I guess Keycaps is next, right? Haven't picked any Keycaps. We're just playing TFT. I wasn't feeling so hot. Oh, I hope you feel better. I'm feeling good today because, I mean, I was telling people. I'm not sure if you know actually, Marcia, but I'm currently thesising for my degree, and so I just completed a full draft of my thesis just yesterday, and so I get a little break till I get back to preparing a talk, basically. Just pain. But you know, I'm getting there. I'm finishing up. And so this is my first build in like weeks. First time I touch any cool toys in like 2 weeks. So pretty fun. All right. Is it finally happening? Yeah. I need to look for jobs. Yeah. I'm not gonna like sing my victories, and I'm not gonna like say I'm done until I'm actually done, because you never know. But getting there. Having been through a thesis process So proud of you, thank you. You know, the moment I felt most proud of was when my fucking references were like auto-editing, auto-updating themselves. I put a nice bracket and a number or a last name, and they close the bracket, and then EndNote or whatever goes ahead and finds that reference for me and fucking edits it on its own! Oh, and then anytime I update any other part of the document, the numbers change automatically. My citations are nicely formatted. Dude, saving that kind of time is gold, okay? I mean, you know when you're like nerdy about that kind of random shit, like, oh, your text is justified, it looks nicely clean, you're not like pointlessly using up extra lines in a paragraph. You know, like a pet peeve of mine is having, you know, like when you write a paragraph on like Word or whatever, or actually even if it's like a 2-column thing, you know, like when, or like a text box, you have like one word pieces left on their own in a singular line, in a separate line. I hate it when that happens. Okay, it's like a little thing, but it's like one of those things where you like have to like adjust the size of the font, or like you might want to justify the text so it doesn't do that. But it's like that kind of stuff. Fixing formatting is like the biggest thing. Takes forever. What are you working with for word processing? I'm currently doing Word because we use a template. But if I weren't doing Word, I would be doing LaTeX probably. But LaTeX is a finicky beast, and so I stuck to Word this time just because it was actually easier to format on Word this time, and actually a lot of the sort of like the add-ons that I needed to use, like for citations, I used EndNote and whatnot. It was actually easier to use Word for that. The template had all the like headings and all that stuff done, and so at least they saved me that time. So, but I think on other word processors I would have had to do it myself, which is a pain in the ass. So, hanging words. Yeah, I used to not care until I looked at these long documents and I was like, wow, that looks awful. Like, what is this waste of space over here? Anyway, don't get me on this. I can go on for days about this. But yeah, here we are. I'll get you. I knock on wood for you. Thank you. I'm so ready. I'm so ready to be done. Anyway, I'm out here. All right. All right, friends. Shall we pick up a key set? What do you guys want me? Ooh, you know what key set would be good on this? Mr. Kupo, are you around? Well, actually, I'm not sure if was it Kupo? Maybe it was somebody. I think it was Soren actually who was excited about this. But I got MTNU Graphite, and I haven't opened it up. And I feel like this is perfect for this because it's like nice dark gray. This isn't like gray and black. Kind of goes nicely with all this. So let's do that. I've been wanting to try MTNU, whatever, MTNU, however you want to call it. But I got those blanks in from Novelties. Obviously purchased these with my own manners, and I'm pretty hyped because I like the idea of MTNU, and I didn't get in on any of the other sets, but the blanks sounded great. I heard that the box is a mess in the inside because the profile's different, and I wasn't wrong. They weren't wrong, but okay. All right, double shot blanks, boy. Wow. All right, let's put these on. Every time I see this, I'm amazed at how it's built. Yeah, it's really interesting thing. Hey, what's up, Patty? Did I like? Is this switch like not fully pressed in? Oh, let me just double check. Oh no, it is. Okay, it's just me. Yapping? Yeah, I'm yapping here. How do you like the profile? MTNU, pretty interesting. I mean, I've only tried it at meetups for myself, So this is actually the first time I own an MTNU set. It's basically like short, kind of like DSS if you've ever tried it. Like you know DSA, right? So I think MTNU is sort of like the in-between DSS and MT3 kind of profile. So it's like shorter than like SA slash MP3, but it is I would say like it's fully sculpted, so you actually have a full sculpt to the profile, which is nice, and so like you at least still have some semblance of nice curvature to the profile, so it's pretty neat. I've tried it like briefly at meetups, and it's pretty comfortable to use. It's not as like scooped as MT3 is, for example. So that's nice. So yeah, but I personally like it. I like what they're planning on doing with it and trying to do with it. Obviously, it doesn't come cheap. It is, after all, it is basically GMK double shots. I think it's like a PBT, it's like some kind of like blend, right, for the material, and so it's not cheap, but I think it's it still preserves like the high quality that GMK does promise. So that's kind of nice. See you at the New York meetup? Oh, you're coming? Well, Patty, I didn't purchase a ticket for the meetup, but I'll if you let me know what you're up to, I'll be there. What the hell is this? Is this supposed to be the caps lock? I have no idea, man. I'm here trying to figure out what the correct profile is, okay? Because these are blinks, and the tray is a hot mess. So if I get this wrong the first time, you'll have to excuse me. I'm just doing guesswork here at this point. I have a feeling I'm doing this wrong, but okay. Okay, these flatter ones look like R3. This tall one looks like R1. Okay, that works. Okay. I mean, yeah, I just, well, so actually my main reason for not getting meetup tickets was that I am avoiding any kind of active commitment right now due to my upcoming defense. So yeah, I've just been avoiding all kinds of commitment. But that's that. Is this R3? I'm assuming this is R3. Looks like R3. Oh dear. I don't even know these profiles. Is this? I guess this is R3. This is a mess because I have no idea which ones are in the right places for that. Okay, that looks like a shift key. Okay. Oh, I can kind of tell from the sprues here. Okay. All right. That's a 125U. I'm gonna unplug this for a sec. Space bar goes like this, I think. Ooh, nice. I was so tempted to go to New York meetup, but I already have plans to go in November. Oh, November. Okay. That's a good time to come here. I mean, you know that. Is this a scoop? I think that's a scoop. I think that's a homing key right there. Oh dear. My MTNU Graphite came jumbled. I was so mad. Yeah, this is a nightmare, Kupo. What the f... What the frick, dude? I have no freaking idea where I'm putting these caps right now. I'm pretty sure I got a bunch of these wrong. But YOLO. I'm just guessing based on the position of the little like ejection, like the mold, like sprue thingy or whatever, like that little dot thingy, the flashing in the back. Just basing that's the top of the cap, and just guessing the rest. Guessing, hoping that I get it right. R2 and R4 are the worst. Yeah, this is kind of absurd. Oh, okay, I definitely got one wrong there. You see it, it's standing. It stands out. So obvious when it's the wrong one. But like, hello? Oh my god. Okay. Struggle bus. Are there no alphabets? Oh, these are blanks. Yeah, these are blanks. So there are MTNU caps with letters on them, but these are specifically blanks, so they don't have any in particular. Okay, I clearly am running out of keys here because I'm not sure where's what. Is this an R2 key? What the frick? Okay, these must be the keys for like home and the nav cluster. Okay, I think these are the arrow keys. Yeah, blown that thing. People still on the hawk tour. I know. I know, y'all. The what? The what? You know what I'm talking about. Don't pretend you don't know. Enter key. Okay, that's an accent. I think this is another enter key. Okay, I think I'm kind of done with that stuff. Oh, okay, at least this one is fine. All right. Oh wait, where's my pipe key? The other one. The fudge? Okay, I guess it was. Oh, the ISO enter is there, so I guess this is the pipe. Pipe key. Short shift? Short shift and 1.5s. Wait, these are 1.25s. They're not 1.5s, they're 1.25s. Okay, my bad. 1.25s. Nice. And we got a few different enter keys to try. And then I think you can do the rest with artisans, probably. Spam that thing, Diego. Alright. What enter key do we want? I don't know yet. Maybe we can choose artisans first, or I don't know. Okay, let me check the profile here first, because it's like so hard to tell if I did this wrong. This one's wrong. This one over here. This one is, yeah, this one looks like an R3. And oh, I actually got most of the other ones right. Just need an R2. Okay, cool. Oh, bump ons. Oh, bump ons are removable, so they just kind of fell off because they dragged on the desk mat. Okay. Use green, por favor. Okay, I can use green. Wait, everyone's on a different. Oh, okay, everyone wants different ones. Wait, let's just do a vote. Can we pull a vote? Put a vote up for this. Feel like GMK Cosmo would fit this board pretty well. Oh yeah, that would be a pretty good choice. I do agree. If once it exists, that is. All right, let's do a poll, and then this is gonna be which enter key. So gray, blue, purple, and blue. Oh no, wait, green. And I'll let you guys vote for that. Oh man, I should have put Gary, not Gray. Oh, so boring. You guys can pick though. If you're confused what the options are, don't worry too much about it. Okay. Wow, gray and purple are pretty popular. Okay. Wow, it looks like it's gonna be green. I mean purple, my bad. Purple. I'm a plain Jane, I voted for gray. That's fair, to be honest. I think a lot of people do like the completely bare bones look here. Alright, cool. I think let's, yeah, it's no pink. It's there's no pink in here. It's purple, not pink. I'll try to maybe put a purple cap that matches that ish pretty well. For the escape, that's a lightish purple. Ooh, this is fun. We'll do this for the escape. Little alien guy. So it's just a blink, but the purple's kind of close. And I feel like Alien Escape kind of works with this theme. Kind of spacey. And then for the rest, we can kind of go with a more neutral profile. So actually, these fugus could be a good choice, considering this is like a gray sort of scheme. Maybe I'll do this one. If I do same sculpts, I kind of set myself up. This is hard. Ooh, aliens. Aliens? I messed up? What do you vote wrong, Kupo? Is that what you did? You know, maybe I'll do the aliens on the left. Like that. And then I'll do... No, I used a Dr. Disrespect. Wow! Kupo, you messed up. Twice. You're a filthy two-timer, twice at fault. Unmod me? You're not even the mod here. What are you talking about? What are you even talking about? You are not even a mod. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna try to match that. Maybe I'll do this, this, and this. And then maybe I should match the purple on the other side. So 2 purples. Maybe that one. Little prime caps. Palm tree. 2 blanks. And then sculpts that match up on each side. Welcome to the Champions Club. Oh dear. Oh, Kupo. Drew, I fixed the emotes? But wait a minute. How can he fix the emotes? I mean, Kupo literally used a dock emote that is spelled dock, not L. So he could have easily avoided a dock emote, and yet he didn't. So it's not Drew's fault, is it? Pick a card. Oh no, Mr. Kupo. What is this madness? We can turn off the light, the backlight. I think I'm gonna turn it off for now, because I think it looks a little weirder than the keycaps. I think this more blank look is nicer. Look at that! Look at this chonker. Can you see this? Whoa, it's a beast. All right. It is fun to blame You got a point, Mr. ODM. It is fun to blame the Dr. Ua. Alright. Let's type on this. Let's try this out. So let me move the mic over. Okay, there it is. Look at that. Whew. Sheesh, this is a chonky boy. Alright, so let's open up this guy here. We can stop the music for a sec. I know there's some noise in the background. It's just like fan noises and stuff. There's like, and the window's open over there, so. But yeah, this is currently, this is the it's the Noland N1 from Nooir. This is gonna be live through ClickClackIO in like half an hour or something like that. It retails around 550, I'm gonna say, if I recall correctly. And this particular unit is this kind of gray top with this, as Patty called, what is it, landing dock. That's this black and sparkly white coated piece, like this frame piece that goes around the assembly. Mr. Coop, you can blame Koopa for that, he told me. It's interesting because it's basically like this Mac lift sort of mounting where you have this main assembly that's levitating on magnets, and then it's stabilized by these bearings over here on the sides, and as you can see, it gets covered by these glass covers just to kind of protect from dust and whatnot. But yeah, this is currently built with these new switches that are coming up on ClickClack as well. They sent these switches out, so I had to use them and whatnot. You know, these are long pole linears, 3.6 millimeter travel, and then these are called Momo Oolong linears from OneKey. I don't know who the exact maker is, but I think it's basically kind of like a B-Sun or a JWK maybe. But you know, long pole linear, has some factory lube, pretty smooth, kind of feels like an HMX switch, so pretty smooth. And yeah, that's pretty much the build. This has FR4 plate, and the assembly is sort of just like sandwiched inside of this case, while the whole assembly is like floating on this magnet and suspended. Alright, so this is definitely a chonker, but this with MTNU graphite blanks to try out for the keycaps. Alright, here we go. Pretty nice. That's a short typing test, but I can do it again if you want, a bit more slowly as well. These springs are kind of light. These are supposed to be like 58 gram, pretty light for me. I make a lot of mistakes, but we can go through the mods and then we can talk about maybe typing on it one more time. But pretty clacky sounding. This actually has no foam on it, no PE foam and no plate foam. And okay, so here are the mods. You can see how much it moves, so just like take a look at the edges especially of the board. But this thing just like vibrates because of the suspension here. Especially the bottom row. Now look at the bottom row, because the bottom row is floating the most. So obviously you can definitely press it really hard and kind of bottom out, quote unquote, on this levitating suspended system, right? I have to say it's soft feeling. It's not as obnoxious as it might appear. Like in typing, I don't find the bouncing to be as nearly as obnoxious as it seems to be, because it doesn't move quite a bit. That said, it might also be because I don't type that heavily. The movement is like pronounced though, and you can definitely see it on the screen, right? But yet I didn't find it like, you know, to type on this keyboard, it was not as obnoxious as you probably think. Especially like in regular typing, I don't think the movement is nearly as bad. But if you're like tapping away at a key, you know, like really pressing hard on this thing, you are compressing a lot, okay? Like you will definitely see this thing move a lot. But I don't think that's realistic to how you would normally type, right? Like if you're normally typing, especially if you're typing at like a very normal speed, like you would just be like, oh. right? So it's not that bad. You know, I think it's kind of, realistically speaking, it's not that bad. But yeah, like this whole suspension system really lends itself to quite a bit of movement, like basically has a lot of leeway to it. Like, you know, especially like if you press the corners or the edges, you're seeing so much move, right? And yeah, the sides do compress a lot. Yeah, so if you take out the sides, this thing actually will kind of levitate more because there's nothing preventing it to come out from coming out. And so it'll kind of stay up a lot more. But yeah, so you can definitely adjust that though. But yeah, like this does move quite a bit. Interestingly enough, you can also take off the patch like this because it's kind of like diagonally placed there. Personally, I think this is a cool concept. I think the whole idea of the board is super neat. Like the mounting system is new, it's nifty. I have a feeling it would be cool to see it in a more compact form. Like, I personally find this whole assembly on the sides to be super excessive. Maybe something else to hold down the tabs over here that are keeping the assembly in place in a more compact case would be neat. Don't really have to use exactly the same way, different configurations of magnets, because you do have quite a bit of empty space underneath as well. So actually, let me take away that typing thingy, and like if I sort of show you right, if I like show you here, the bottom has like quite a lot of space. So as you can see here, like that's why the bottom moves a lot, is because there is a lot of room for movement. So, and especially more pronounced here at the bottom. So yeah, that part is kind of interesting. The top actually doesn't have nearly as, I mean, it has some play, but it's not nearly as much. But if you're looking at, like, if you look at the USB port though, like you can just kind of see it has quite a lot of room to move. There's a lot of empty space here in the case. I really like the finish on this black with speckled dots. Pretty cool. As I think J1 said, this would be a cool fit with Mr. Captain Mike's GMK Cosmos that's currently on IC. Pretty neat concept. But yeah, the finish itself has some texture to it. You can feel the sparkly bits, sort of like a kind of like stone material. Like, it has some texture to it. Slight bit of chalkiness to the material here, to the coating. But the finish itself is pretty high quality in my opinion. I was surprised it was bottom mounted inside the keyboard part. Yeah. There's that too. Like the interior of the case, yes, Patty just said, like this guy here, this middle gray portion is just the keyboard alone. That part is just kind of sandwiched in the case, and there is this sound dome thing kind of like just propping it up with foam, and that's it. And that piece of foam is just kind of bolted to the case as well. So as far as like inside of this case, there's not too much going on. It's just kind of like a sandwiched plate PCB assembly. It's really, the interesting part is happening here outside of the case, with these magnets propping this guy up and these bearings kind of holding things down, and keeping things on the same like axis of motion. So yeah, pretty cool board. Personally, not for me, for sure. Like, I think this board is pretty excessive, pretty out there. But and it's not cheap either. I mean, it's a pretty heavy chunk of engineering here. But I personally wouldn't be purchasing a board like this just because it's just a lot going on. I prefer simpler ones. But I think if you're into like a statement piece, like this is similar to, this reminds me of, what's that gray studio board? HB85, I think. There's that ginormous gray studio board that was basically a whole statement piece of its own. I mean, maybe the Geist boards are sort of like that too, right? They're like statement pieces. They're like essentially works of art in a way, right? They make a statement by being bold in their design and have something unique going for them. It's kind of like that. It's that kind of board. At least for me, it's like a piece I would put to a display or to show people and be like, look at this cool thing. That aside, I think the design is actually really polished. Like, they thought this through, and it works. And it's not just a concept. Like it definitely definitely executed in a way where it works pretty well. So I like that idea. And I really think that's like accomplished pretty nicely. They already ran a group in China, right? Like, so for those interested in the international scene, this is a cool board to have if you like to collect unique stuff. I think that's pretty much my takeaway from this. It does look nice on the desk here, though. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a nice like statement piece sort of keyboard. I think it looks pretty neat. So yeah, I dig it. I really dig it in terms of what this board is about. So maybe I'll put up this like that for our thumbnail, and just focus there, and 3, 2, 1, boom. Very nice. Looks clean. You need a giant curvy mouth desk pad. Just doesn't hit the same. That would be nice. But yeah, I can show it off actually, the board itself, right? Like, here is the side of the board. So you can see it really sticks out there. I actually was worried that the caps would float a lot here on this side, but it actually doesn't. These MTNU caps are actually not floating as much. The skirt is just enough to cover the side, so I was definitely worried that the caps would sit up a little far up. I think if you're using like maybe PBT caps or other keycaps that don't have a recessed stem, that could be a problem. You could probably see gaps in between, but these GMK caps work pretty well, these MTNU caps. But yeah, that's what the board looks like from the front. Like if you were like kind of facing you. I think these things are like, the whole design language here is really nicely done. I think they chose the right layout for this. 75% with this particular clustering is, I would say, A+ in terms of how they thought it through. It really works well for this. The LED, nice placement. It's subtle. Like, it's really bright right now. I can reduce the brightness, but it's subtle. It's nicely done. These side thingies, these side windows remind me a lot of that. Like you know those boards with the through hole components on the sides, or like on the like kind of like the Discipline where it's at the top. Kind of like reminds me of that. Where like see-through components and stuff. That's pretty cool. I think the Argyle was one of those boards that had it on both sides. But yeah, kind of reminds me of that. MTNU Graphite, really clean. I actually really like this profile. I could actually use MTNU on a more regular basis. Still does remind me a little bit of like, maybe like a smaller SA, but it's a lot more comfortable than SA. And it sounds pretty good. Yeah. So it sounds pretty nice. Yeah. Okay. So let's wrap things up here. So show it up from the top here. Ooh, so heavy. I think someone said this was like 8 pounds or so, keyboard wise. Really heavy. But yeah, there's our Fugus, Prime Caps, our Boop Blank, and some Aliens by Moist Gun. The cool little bearings and pieces to keep it stable. This very nifty, swinging, levitating keyboard assembly. It feels like a huge button. When I press it like this, it feels like I'm pressing like a huge button. The back here, coating in the back, and a lot of empty space here. I can fit like this. I could put this like sideways on like a shelf, and it could like be like a folder. I like this thing can hold like random stuff, like oh yes, some paperwork and some PCBs or whatever. You can just put it like that and just put it into a shelf. Just kidding. But this is very interesting. Magnets, how do they work? Am I right? Yeah, this is super cool. It really is kind of an insane keyboard. It's just so much going on, but it's also executed really well. I would say, like as someone said, I think Ooktug said earlier, like yeah, sure, it might not win an award for sound or feel or whatever you might say, but as far as execution and how refined the execution is, they did a great job. Like this is really cool, really cool, and really well done. So if I ever got a chance to talk to the designers, I would tell them like that was really cool. So yeah. The first keyword to wipe your credit card. But yeah, MTNU is pretty cool. You should try it at a meetup if you can, or like if you ask someone in your area. Hopefully someone in New Zealand has MTNU, but I think you should probably try it at a meetup first. I only bought it because I had tried it at a local meet. Otherwise, I don't think I would have purchased MTNU Graphite. I mean, it looks nice, but I'm pretty stuck to this cherry profile now that I would be reluctant to purchase anything new without trying it in person first. There will be MTNU Dolce. That's nice. I'm not sure if I'll get it though. I think I like these blanks alone. And I have a lot of GMK, so I think I'm okay. Okay, sorry, I had to mute myself to move the mic. So for all the fun and daring design of keyboards coming from China, I think a lot of the reason is also because production is cheaper to do it there, especially if you have connects with the industry there, right? Like, or if you own the facilities to produce, if you have good connections, and also obviously if you have the money to R&D. I assume if for example production were a lot easier in the States for keyboards, I'm sure a lot of people here would be experimenting a lot too. Then again, a lot of people here have the spending power but won't use it to R&D crazy things because they just are not willing to. So there's definitely an aspect of people being more conservative here about how far out they want to go with their designs. So I do think it's a bit of a cultural thing too. Like, it's just being open to the idea is very different from actually executing it. And I do find that at least in America, here in the US, a lot of or in North America and the Western world in general, I think designers might be open to something, but they might not want to spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars to try and experiment and all that stuff. Not everybody, at least. Very few people. So there's that, I think. At least that's my thought. I always interpret it like that. I was like, yeah, I think the reason a lot of these cool new things come from Asia is because of some cultural differences as well as access to resources. Yeah. No more keysets for me. I have enough. I'm going broke. How many keysets do you have relative to keyboards, Kupo? I'm pretty sure you must have a lot of keysets relative to keyboards, I feel. I feel like you really like your key sets, don't you? Also, do you get your beloved set? I got my GMK beloved, by the way. It actually arrived, which is nice. Aw, this is so cute. Wait, let me show you. Where is it? How do I open this? Oh my god, that's so cute. Okay, let me show you something. My partner just took a picture of Kiwi and it's like the most adorable thing. I managed to track down a Juby. Oh yeah, old favorite. Oh, best time to collect old favorites. That's for sure. You know, like Jane V2ME and like 910, all that stuff goes for like retail now, basically, and a lot of boards are super cheap now too. It's amazing. If you're a buyer right now, it's great. It's amazing. Oh, except for if you're looking for my old GMK, then yeah, good luck. I don't think you'll find much. I mean, if you do, it's gonna be expensive. But key sets, I feel like just wait long enough and they'll probably be a rerun. But if you're all about the it must be round 1 from 2016, then yeah, I mean, sure. If you want your key sets that's old as the presidential debate candidates, then good luck. Look at this. He's so cute. Sorry, I'm a cat dad now, so I have to show off. He's so adorable. Look at his noggin. Aw. Look at him. He's so cute. Look at Kiwi. He's so cute. Look at Kiwi. Showing off the picture you took. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. The toe beans. Yeah, he's so cute. Alright, friendos, it's late for me in the sense of I gotta go and have some dinner and chill out for a bit, I guess. I need to today's my break day essentially, so built a keyboard to take a break and I'm gonna take it easy for a bit, but yeah, I want to wrap it up here. Got some more stuff coming up though. I got keyboards to build, okay? Like I need to build Mr. J1's keyboard, who has been waiting. There's a few people who have been waiting for boards for me to build on stream. I did get sent a protagonist by Lube switches after the GB was over, so I was asked to build that too, just for fun. So I want to build that too at some point. I have like some Topper lubing and stuff to do. I think Canon Keys just sent out the SAT75X to me as well, so I'll be doing that soon as well. And I also got the Cycle 8 from TKD and ClickClackIO, so I'll also be checking that out. The Cycle 8 is the TKL version of the Cycle 7 essentially. So I'll also be doing that soonish. But yeah, it's just been busy with my thesis thing, and but once I'm through that or through the bigger obstacles, I'll be free and I'll be doing a lot more builds. I got a lot of personal stuff too that I've been putting in the pipeline that I just need to prep switches and stuff for, that I really want to build too, so I'll also be building personal stuff. I mean, if you're asking what switches are gonna use, you know what switches I'm gonna use. Probably the same old Cherry, Gadron, you name it. And yeah, I used to have an Alps project at some point, but I need to like go back and see if I have all the stuff I need for it, but that'll happen at some point too. But yeah, got a lot of stuff that I want to do. And then after the summer, after this summer, I am going to be working with Novel Keys to rerun GMK CYL, GMK Blue Alert Round 2. So hopefully you guys will support that. Honestly, I'm not very optimistic about that said. It's not like GBs are doing too hot these days. but it is a beige set, boring as hell. It has blue on it, still kind of boring, but it's okay. It's a little better. And it's a rerun of a set that hasn't run in a long time, and it was kind of limited to just originative supply. But that said, there's also been like alternate sets that basically are the same, like Linworks' set and a few others. But you know, hopefully put an option for people to buy that. So yeah, if I hit MOQ, that's good enough for me. But I'll be working with novelties to get all those renders and whatnot ready. Probably pictures of the real set, which I have. Like for the R1 set. It'll be different from the R1 set in some regards. Text plus icon is gonna be one thing that's notably different. It's going to keep the OneKey icons. Actually, that was a condition that I had with the original runner of Blue Alert Round 1 to keep. So we'll be having R5 and old school OneKey logos. Sorry, Super and Code users, if you're not a fan of Windows, too bad. What else? Blue numero, yes, of course. Blue numero is a must. It has to happen. That's kind of the point, or like that's why I wanted to run it again too. Like I wanted to have a rerun. It was because I wanted the same alert numero accent that Red Alert R2 gave Red Alert that treatment for, and so yeah, that's also gonna happen. So yeah, talk about kitting and renders and all that stuff with novel keys later this year, and hopefully that goes well. All right, I'll see you guys later. Oh, Liam, thanks for stopping by. Later, brother. See you later too. But yeah, hey Peaches, welcome back. Oh my god, we miss you so much. That's so cool. You know, there's been a year of comebacks. A lot of artists and makers made some comebacks. And then there's been people who have been popping in, actually, that I hadn't seen for years, and then I saw again, and that kind of stuff. So it's been nice to see new faces and old faces. Meetups are kind of getting bigger in size again, but also it's not the same as the pandemic boom, so has changed a little bit. So kind of like seeing more recurring faces now, the people who stuck around after the pandemic era. So I think the keyboard hobby is kind of in a good place, at least as a community. There's like still cool projects happening. There's still hobbyist things happening in the background and new projects. That said, yeah, it's a saturated market, so it's a little harder to run some new things at scale, but I think it's a good time to be in the hobby still. Alright folks, I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go eat and chill out, so take it easy. But let me see, is there anyone to raid right now? Actually, I haven't checked. Let me check if there's anybody to raid. Oh, Alex is currently streaming. Who is that guy? Teja Types? Is that a new streamer? Ain't no way. Alright. We'll rate Nathan just because I basically see him online once in like twice a year basically. Okay. He started streaming right when you went live today? Oh, so is he about to be done? No, he's kind of a slow in these days, so alright, let's go rate Mr. Nathan. Yeah, he's basically Ryan, but Ryan's effectively kind of retired from streaming these days, right? So alright, let's just spam him with emotes if you have them. If not, that's fine. Actually, let's just say, where the fuck have you been? There's our raid message. Is he doing stabs? He's telling stories like Ryan would. Lol stacks. Just kidding. Alright guys. I'll see you guys later. I hope you guys had a good time today. You'll see the VOD up in a day, and you'll catch pictures and whatnot as usual on the IG and whatnot. I'll see you guys later. Take it easy. Have a good weekend. If you're doing any cool things for July 4th, have fun. For those abroad, thank you so much for stopping by the stream. And I'll see you guys later. Peaches, welcome back. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.